What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview show. As you can see, I am not inside, I'm outside. The sky is blue. You can see the clouds are there, but it's not even too cloudy. Patrick's got a smile on his face. He's all dressed up, looking smart. And I thought, you know what, Patrick? Whilst you're here, might as well do the preview at Sellers Park. So we are at Sellers Park, where Crystal Palace will be facing Millwall at 12:15, the early kickoff, the big derby, South London derby, which we haven't faced Millwall since we beat them last time in the FA Cup, but that was at their ground. Right. As always, make sure to drop a like and also subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thank you to every single one of you that's shown a lot of support over the start of the year, even last year as well. The videos have been doing great, and it's been great engaging with you all as well. Sean Scannell interview, by the way, dropping tomorrow, and trust me, you do not want to miss out on that. Patrick.
Yes.
You're much older than me. Of course, we haven't got your banner underneath, which we normally, Palace fans since the 70s and all of that. We haven't got that. Yeah, we haven't got that right now. But for you, Millwall, how big of a game is this for you?
It's massive. Growing up as a kid of the 60s/70s, Millwall, Orient were our big rivals. People who know go back then. So it's not just a rivalry on the pitch. It's actually, back then a lot of between the fans. So it's a big rival, and I can guarantee you, this is a match you don't want to lose. And again, if you remember the famous Nathaniel Klein quote, which I can't say on the air, we get bleeped out. Exactly. So it's big, and I'm looking forward to it from a football standpoint, not the extracurricular stuff, but no, from a football standpoint, big rivalry, should be a lot of fun, and it's a big match because it's obviously get to the next round of the cup.
Exactly. It's not just that it's a big match against Millwall. It's the fact that we are a couple wins away from going to Wembley semi-finals. And it sounds crazy and it gives me a bit of goosebumps, but we are 3 wins away from winning a trophy. Yeah. And to you, when we're facing Millwall, what are you thinking about in your head? Is it a case of we have to beat Millwall because it's Millwall's sake? Or is like a cup run you're thinking going into this game? Because as we know, Glasner's won a trophy as well. In terms of the importance of this game, over the last, ever since Glasner's joined us, is this the most important game?
Great question. The most important, I don't think yet the most important, because I just think that obviously, again, he's got the pedigree of winning cups. Me personally, everyone knows, watches the shows, follows the channel, knows I just want to win a cup once in my Palace supporting life, and I think that under this manager we have our best chance. So I think it's a big match from that standpoint. The biggest match to date, not yet. I think there were some games last season when he came, because obviously Hodgson had left and we went on a little bit of a bad streak after that Burnley game that we won initially. So, but I think as it goes on, the further go in his cup, the more important they become, obviously. So, is it the most important game in his career? No, but is it an important game in the scheme of winning a cup, possibly? Yes.
Yeah. For me, what's more important then? What game has been more important since Glasner joined us?
You're looking at this season, the League Cup game against Arsenal for me was a big game. It's a quarter-final League Cup. We were 2 steps away from the winning.
But this is not bigger though, because for us, in FA Cup, we do better than we do in the League Cup. Ever since we even got promoted in the Premier League, we've been inches away from winning the FA Cup. Of course, we don't want to go into history lane because it's never ended good.
Right.
But yeah, don't you think that's the case?
It was, but I'm looking at perspective, and again, I thought, was that December, right? We lost that game, the 3-2 game. At
and
Emirates.
it was like an offside goal,
right.
And I mean, we haven't gone further in the League Cup like that since.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But again, as I mentioned before, to me, I never said to win an FA Cup in my life. I said to win a cup. To me, the League Cup would be just as important. It would have the same value in my heart. We still get to Europe, a different competition, obviously. So for me, again, a quarterfinal versus Arsenal at that point was very important. And we put up a good show, but we didn't get that win. So for me, that was the biggest game under Glasner so far. But now, moving forward, when we get to this quarterfinal, I would equate that to being the same. But remember, we were 1 game away from getting to the semi, then it's 2 legs, and then possibly you're getting the final. Then look at Newcastle and Liverpool in that same final. So for me, again, that was just my opinion. That was the biggest game for Glasner so far in his Palace managing career.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because for me, I think this is the most important game. I understand what you say about the League Cup. At that time, yes, it was very important, but now for me, the FA Cup is the trophy. I don't know why, in the back of my head, is the trophy that we've been closer
massive,
to. Yeah, exactly.
Massive, yeah.
League Cup, we've always struggled in, and we haven't gotten, I think, to the semi-finals since
the Cardiff.
Cardiff,
right, Cardiff game.
And that was before we got promoted to the Premier League.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a significant game, and I have no worries about the players being up for it. You know, before we used to have the likes of Will, etc. But now we still got Wardy inside.
Right.
Is there any concern about that? About the players not understanding the difficulty of the fixture? I think we've got enough people within the club. Paddy McCarthy, for example, who's at the football club.
Klein's still here, obviously.
Klein's still here as well. So I've got no worries about that. But in terms of now the lineup, this is where it gets interesting. How do we approach this game? Do we swap one or two players? And Nketiah, of course, was on the score sheet against Aston Villa, which was a massive positive.
Yep.
Do we let him start this game? Do we rotate in midfield? Will Hughes going to be suspended for 2 games, of course, that we know about. That's going to be in the league.
Right.
But is there a possibility that maybe we try out something in this game? Does Hughes start in midfield? Do we change anything in defence? Ben Chilwell, he didn't have any minutes against Villa.
Right.
Does he start? So I think there are questions that
questions.
we can ask. So where should we start? Let's start with the defence then.
Right.
Anyone in defence? I think the major talking point in defence is Mitchell versus Chilwell.
I get
and
that
in the last 2 games, Mitchell has actually been very good.
Very, very good.
I think he's playing one of his best games so far this season. Defensively, going forward, crosses into the box. He's been exciting. But do you make that change to give Ben Chilwell an opportunity? Because Ben Chilwell didn't come here on loan for the rest of the season to sit on the bench. And this is a cup game. So surely he'll be knocking on the door asking, Gaffer, this should be my opportunity.
Right. It's a great question. Let me go back to, you asked before how serious you take it. I think we've seen Glasner in the past. He takes every cup competition seriously. Doncaster was a very strong team. So getting back to Chilwell, I think I'm really glad he did not bench Mitchell after everything because it was a poor performance. But I think if he's going to play Chilwell, this is the time. You can rest Tig, and there'll be 3 matches in a span of 8 days. You can get Chilwell in there. He came on versus
Fulham last game.
Fulham, right? Came on
as a
number, but just got some minutes in his leg, which is great. So for me, that would be a change. I think would not surprise me to see Chilwell as left wing back versus Millwall.
Yeah, I don't think it will surprise me either.
Right.
But funny enough, I wouldn't mind Mitchell starting.
There you go back again. Okay, why? Strongest lineup.
Because
And he's
strongest
playing
lineup,
well.
and he's actually playing well. He's actually playing
I
well.
agree.
But then again, I think we have to kind of be realistic and also realise that, look, Chilwell's out on loan here, yes, but he came on loan to play minutes, and I think Glasner must have had those conversations with him. So I think him not starting in the cup game would be a surprise to me, in all honesty. And in defence and at right back, for example, I don't think I make any changes there. I wouldn't bring in Klein because
Kapora would be first choice over Klein. But I know what you're saying.
I wouldn't change that because yes, they're in the championship, but it's a big game. It's an FA Cup game.
Strongest
team possible.
Yeah.
In midfield, Adam Wharton. Wow. First of all, what a game against Aston Villa. You start Adam Wharton against Millwall, which I guess that they'll sit back.
Yeah. They're not going to come and attack us at Selhurst Park.
So I think you have to start Wharton there. Next to Wharton now, we're expecting them to be physical.
Right.
Do you bring in Lerma, who actually came on?
You have options.
He came on and he actually done a good job against McGinn, who was very physical against Will Hughes. And Will Hughes kind of struggled in that aspect with the physicality.
Right.
Or do you go with technical approach? Someone who may be a bit better on the ball to try to break down Millwall.
Right.
Having Wharton there, does it give Glasner the flexibility now to maybe go a bit more defensive next to him because of how good Wharton can be on the ball? I think Wharton is, of course, better than Will Hughes on the ball.
Right.
Do you think he can go with that approach?
There are options. So Wharton starts definitely. Lots of reasons. One, he's our best player. 2, if you watch him on Tuesday, either in live like D and I did or on TV, he was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Lou and I talk about it in the play ratings, how good he is. He makes football look very, very easy. So Wharton starts, but then you have the dilemma of Hughes is going to miss the next 2 matches in the league. So do you want to just use him now and then you're going to miss him? Or do you want to put a partner in there for the next 2 matches that might play? So that's the first option is obviously Lerma. But you also have Kamada, because Kamada came on for Wharton. Is that right? Or was it for Hughes on Tuesday?
Kamada came on
for Wharton because Lerma came up for Hughes. Exactly. So you've got choices. So I don't have a problem whether it's Hughes, Lerma, or Kamada. I honestly will probably go with strongest lineup is going to be Hughes and Wharton, and I want to win this game. So plus he's not going to play next 2 games. Even if you take him out after 45, get Hughes in there to do that what he does well. And also, I'm thinking back. Maybe you can tell me, D. I don't remember the last time that Lerma and Wharton played together as a starting. They played together on the pitch, so I'm not sure if that even works. And do you want to test that in an FA Cup game you want to win? So it's a great question. So I don't know. To me, Hughes and Wharton start. But again, as Louis says, whatever Glasner does and wants, I'm fine with.
Based on Louis, we shouldn't even do no videos. Whatever Glasner does is right. So
spoiler
there's no point
alert.
even talking,
Whatever Glasner wants, Glasner gets.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, I asked the question because I do think
No, it's
we
a
got
great
that
question.
option.
It's a very good question.
But I do think, we'll start with Wharton and Hughes because I expect them to be a bit more defensive minded, and I think Hughes offers a bit more on the ball.
Open them up.
And then as the game goes on, hopefully if we're 1-0 or 2-0 up, hopefully, I'm not going to predict my score prediction just yet. It'll be at the end. Then you bring on Lerma. Then you bring on that physicality, try to slow them down if they try to get a bit more physical. Now the front three, Roman Esse facing his former club.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's too early, isn't it? You can't start him in this game.
Yeah. I sent it you guys in the group chat. There was an article from Edmund Brack about Esse and Glasner talking about how, yes, he's a good young player, but it's early. He's got his whole career ahead of him. He didn't sign he said, I love the quote. I think he didn't sign a 6-month contract. He signed the 5-year contract. So he's got plenty of time. Yes, it's Millwall. It's a great story, but no, you cannot start him in this game. No, I shouldn't say. I wouldn't start him. Of course, you can start him. I would honestly go with Sarr, Mateta, Eze. And why is that? Based on the last game for one, how good they played together. Sarr came off 2 goals against Villa, who he always scores against anyway, but he's coming off 2 goals. But I like to keep that momentum going, and they're just playing really well together. And I want to put the hammer to Millwall very, very early and then bring on the likes of Esse possibly and Devaney later on. But for me, I know Deacon have his point in a minute, I'd rather start with our strongest 3, and that's definitely Eze, Mateta, and Sarr.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but if you're Nketiah, for example, you score that goal.
Get that?
And he kind of said it as well in his post-match interview that this could be my opportunity to kind of get that boost and push forward.
Right.
Wouldn't it be nice for him to get an opportunity? And then if things don't go well after 60 minutes, then you can bring on JP because, well, I suppose if you don't concede, of course, then if it's still 0-0, you're going to have that extra time, so JP will still have enough minutes there to do his damage, and he'll be fresh legs as well.
Right. I know what you're saying, and of course it makes sense, but you also have to remember that JP scored on Tuesday, and JP has scored against Millwall in the past. And I said at the beginning of the video, I play my strongest lineup, and for me, it's Mateta. If it's not Nketiah, I'm not that guy who's going to say, oh my God, why did he start on Nketiah? I have no problem with that. I'm just saying, me personally, to me, right now, and no one can argue that. You can try in the comments if you want. Mateta starting is better than starting Nketiah. I'm not saying Nketiah is poor. I was very happy that he scored. I was here, great. But if I was to choose, I'd pick Mateta. If I pick Nketiah, I have zero issue with it. But the strongest lineup for me includes Eze, Mateta, and Sarr up front.
So essentially, what we're doing is we're changing Chilwell. We're just changing left wing back, and then we're going with the same lineup against Aston Villa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wait. We didn't talk about the back 3 because we remember there's the issue about Gahey, right?
So we don't know about that yet.
Right. So if Gahey's fit, we start him. If he's is it? I wouldn't play him. I'd either play Klein or maybe Lerma back there. Exactly. I would play Klein.
I think he might go with Lerma because Lerma offers a bit more in the air. But we talk about set pieces as well.
But we just talked about how Klein understands that rivalry. So who better to play? And it hasn't played in a while. So listen, whatever. Again.
I forgot about that when talking about the back 3. But it's a good point that you mentioned. Hopefully,
just in case.
Hopefully he's fit.
100%. Hopefully he's fit.
I would.
Want to risk him now.
Yeah, if you can bring up the Millwall lineup and let's see like the formation that they've played in the recent games.
I'm pretty sure they play.
I would go with the strongest front 3 as well. Of course, some people think when I'm asking a question, they think that's what I want.
Right. It's just asking questions.
It's asking questions.
Exactly, which is fair.
Yeah. Because we're here to ask questions, have debates, and talk about it. And it's good that we can have these discussions now because come
100%.
Start of the season, halfway through the season, we couldn't really have these discussions.
We didn't have the options.
Whose options? We can't really talk about lineup. You have to play whoever you got out there. At some point, even in a reverse fixture against Fulham, we're playing Gahey in midfield.
Right.
So now it's good that we can finally have these discussions, and hopefully, you know what would be amazing? I want to start Esse in this game. I'll go with, of course, Eze, Mateta, and Sarr.
Right.
But if we're
bring him on and
Eze
score a goal. That'd be
Hey, he's 1 for 1.
fantastic. Yeah.
He came on 1 for 1.
That would be
He
fantastic.
scored a goal and he was great. But in terms of the formation that Millwall play, I think in the latest game against Derby, they went 4 at the back.
Correct. 4-2-3-1. Correct.
Which is a formation that we played against. Is there any players there that really stand out to you?
There is the left winger Aziz. So he is a let me just get his profile. He is a 23-year-old player. Wears number 11. He has 1 goal, 5 assists. But I know in the last cup game he scored 2 goals. Yes, against Leeds. They won the game 2-0. So you have to watch out for him. So that would be Munoz or Gehi. I'm comfortable with that. But definitely as far as players to watch on Millwall, he's one. And also they have a new player they got in the January window, Negley. He's a right midfielder.
We funded
Camille
him,
Negley.
basically.
We're going to get to that in a second. We're not going to forget that. From the Netherlands, good player. So I think the outside players are strong. The striker is currently Ivanovic, a 20-year-old Serbian, a young player.
They got young
They
squad,
got
so
a
they're
young
going to have
player.
a lot of energy.
5 goals in 25 matches. So D makes a great point. We funded, Millwall had a very good transfer window in January, and that came from the sale of Romain SA to us. They also upgraded, I think they bought their training
ground. Like
So-
we've transformed their club from one
Right.
signing. That's not even coming on.
Right.
That's
So
not even coming on.
yeah.
That shows the levels between us and Millwall.
I knew that was coming
going
up.
into this
I knew
game.
that was coming. The levels are just
yeah,
yeah.
levels are just crazy. Like we are expanding our stadium, and that expansion of the stadium probably costs more than Millwall as a football club.
Keep
One
talking,
stand.
D, because I'm Millwall fan coming at me in the comments. Yeah, this is D talking, not Patrick.
But it's facts. Like that
It's a fact.
It costs over 100 million just for one stand.
You're right. You're
And
right.
if Romanes is buying you training grounds, then what is 100 million doing? Buying you Millwall.
Buying you Millwall.
Yeah. So I think there are levels. Of course, we as fans can talk like this, but of course the club and the players around it, they can't get complacent. And I don't think they
100%
will be
can't.
complacent. I've just
No.
got so much confidence.
No way.
In Glasner in terms of his approach to games and how seriously he takes it ever since he's joined it. But yeah, they've got young players. They're going to have a lot of energy, so I expect them to potentially press us. But yeah, as long as we don't concede an early goal, I think as the game goes on, we'll be able to figure them out and see out the system, because we saw it with Villa. They tried to change the system, but Palace, they beat them 4-1.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
they got absolutely embarrassed in that game. In terms of our head-to-head fixtures, when you can, Patrick.
Sure.
I was at the reverse fixture. Do you remember what it was?
It
when we
was
last faced
the
them?
FA Cup 2022, 2-1, Mateta and Olise.
Yeah.
You were at the game, so tell us about the game a little bit. 'cause
That was crazy. That was my first game at Millwall, and of course, back in the day, it must have been worse. But still,
It was
going
bad?
there, yeah, it's like all they wanted was trouble.
Right.
The lower tier was closed. The front bottles, as you've seen with the photos to Elise.
Olise, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you've seen that as well. They tried to break into their away section.
Wow.
They tried to break into their away section. So, yeah, it was a good game. But once again, we kind
Right.
of showed it there as well in
Right.
terms of levels. And we can both agree that Glasner is a better manager than Vieira. But, of course, times have changed from then.
Yeah,
So
no, I know, 100%,
hopefully-
100%
Hopefully the
better
result can
manager,
be
yeah,
better. But in terms of, like, head-to-head results, other than that, because last time we faced Millwall wasn't in the Premier League because they haven't got promoted, so it's been a while.
Right.
What's the previous results apart from the FA Cup?
So in 2013, there was a 0-0 at the Den. That same season, there was also a 2-2. If people remember that game, was when we were up 2-0, and I'm gonna ask you, who got a red card in that game? It was 2-2, ended 2-2 after we were up 2-0, Jednak and Delaney, but we got a red card in that game. Left back.
Was it Moxie?
Very nice one. I tried to keep him on the spot, but he got me. Yeah, D Moxie red card, which changed the game in that game. So yeah, that 2-2. Previous season, 2011, New Year's Eve, Millwall 0, Palace 1 at the Den. Put him on the spot again. Famous name. Scored
When was this?
December 31st, 2011. I know you were young.
Yeah, I was young. I was very young.
Jermaine Easter.
Jermaine
Very
Easter.
famous.
Okay,
Easter on
Funny
New
enough,
Year's
we
Eve.
spoke about this in the Sean Scanner interview that's coming out tomorrow. 'cause-
There you go. I thought
Because-
you might have remembered it. Yeah,
'cause,
exactly. So.
Sean actually spoke about it as well in terms of facing Millwall and the players being up for it and the games. Palace, he spoke about Millwall versus Palace and also Brighton versus Palace as well.
Right.
So the difference between the two games. So when was the last? So we've beaten them how many times in the last 5 games?
We've beaten them a lot away. We haven't beaten them at home in a long time. I'm sorry, I don't even have it, but I don't think we've beaten them. Someone said in over 20 years at Selhurst Park.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Does that worry you?
History does worry me sometimes, but I'm not worried about it from this standpoint. Again, obviously none of the players are playing, but
well, look at
back
Everton.
then. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, but again, if we had a lot of bad results in general against them, that's what it is against Everton. But we have beaten them both in the cups and in the league. Yes, not here, but we haven't actually. Well, ultimately beat us here was. Don't have the year. It's been a while too. So most of the games we played them have been draws. I'm sorry, no. October 16, 2010, Palace 0, Millwall 1. Goal scorer was Robinson. So it's been a while, yeah. Another, by the way, a red card. Oh, the famous Claude Davis. That's for you, Nick Gillard. I know you're a big Claude Davis fan, former Jamaican international. But yeah, so but it's been a while. But no, I'm not worried about that as far as we haven't beaten them in a while. Different set of players, different managers, different mindset. And again, Premier League, I should say this, Championship. There were levels, Millwall fans.
We better not regret saying all
I
this.
know, I'm afraid, but
we better not regret
I'm
saying
half joking, half not joking.
All right, let's get into score predictions then.
Yeah.
Let's start off with you. How do you see this one going? You're dressed smart.
I am.
You're up for it
I'm
today.
Up for it. It's a nice day today, Selhurst Park.
Yeah,
it's
a nice day.
Yeah,
the sun is shining.
I bought most of the club shop again.
Exactly,
There's a bag that this is leaning on.
He's funding our transfer
I'm
window
funding
for
it. Yeah. I'm very confident. Not just based on our away form. Now we've got the home form. I don't want to jinx myself because again I haven't seen a loss this season. I've seen now 5 games. I am very confident. I know Glasner is going to take it seriously. We have Ipswich after and then a long break also. So there's no need to rest players. I'm going to go. This is a bit mad. 4-1 Palace. Again, another 4-1.
4-1 Palace.
I can't get a clean sheet at home, but I'm going for. I'm thinking a lot of goals for Palace.
I'm going 3-0 Palace.
Okay.
I think this could be the game we keep a clean sheet. Mate, the only worry I got is Ben Chilwell, left wing back. Defensively,
we'll be getting assists from Mateta and Sarr.
Hopefully. But I'm going to go for 3-0 Palace. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed this, drop a like, subscribe, and until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.